So here's the width of the seat all the way back. So we're looking about 16 inches, 15, depending on this edge here. And then where it starts to curve down right here to the back is about 15 inches. This sort of back support is around 3 3/4 inch, and passenger looking around 9 inches, 8.5. From seam to seam before it starts to curve down is around 10.5. This is supposed to be adjustable, but I do believe I checked on the bottom that this is all the way back. I've heard of people taking this off. These scooters are kind of rare, so it's hard to find a lot of reviews and different customizing things done to them. But I'm going to say that this seat is a little soft. I'm pushing down like 20 pounds of pressure here. It's firm, but on the softer side. And what that means to me, you know, this is all my opinion, and I'm a heavier person, around 230, 240, depending on how my diets are going. It's firm enough for me. I like it. The problem might come in that if you want to put a seat cushion on here, or at least for me, if I do, let me grab that real quick. So I do have an AirHawk. This is not an AirHawk. It's a gel. I recommend this one. It's cheaper than an AirHawk. AirHawk might be a little bit better, but I would start with one of these. I'll see if I can show a photo of the Amazon details if you want one. Anyway, it has straps here. The problem with this seat is because it's softer, like I said, it's firm but on the soft side. Because it's on the soft side, when you go to put a cushion on, it doesn't support the cushion as much. And I don't like that. You can get a seat that's too soft. Let's keep that in mind. Also, when you strap it, the way the seat is shaped, this cushion is going to be a little bit forward most of the time, and if it's not in the beginning, it'll slip forward. So I definitely, if you're into cushions, which I am on my other motorcycle, but back to me, I weigh about 240 right now, and I'm on the older side of life, so my seat sit bones are really worn out, very sensitive, and also my lower back. So if I put any curve on my lower back, I'll show you that in a second on this scooter, that's an issue. So those are my two major issues, sit bones and lower back. They're both extreme conditions, so if you've got any of these issues, and I'm telling you this works for me, it'll probably work for you. But seat cushions are not really working for me on this. I don't really need them anyway. This is just soft enough, you know, it's not firm enough for a seat cushion, but soft enough where I can get some comfort on it without sitting on like a, you know, something that's too hard. But anyway, my seating position on this is going to be kind of different. I'll show you that in a minute. Let me show you a different seat cushion. Okay, I don't know where my AirHawk seat cushion is. I bought the biggest one. The problem with the AirHawk is it's too slippery. The outside material that it slips into is too slippery. There's another AirHawk that has, you know, the outside is more like this. It's not as slippery. But either way, the AirHawk has a problem going all the way to the back, and like I said, I think the seat's too soft for cushions. Here's a cheap AirHawk knockoff. It's thinner than most air hawks, so it's okay. I mean, if you don't want to spend the money on an air hawk, but if you have real sensitive sit bones, it's not as good. But again, you don't get it slips forward, so I don't recommend seat cushions on this particular seat, but it's pretty good by itself, and I'll show you how I sit on it. So I looked at the NC750X, the Honda, and I do believe on paper it's a better value. I was not able to test ride that motorcycle. I sat on one a couple times. But this one, there was a used one near me, and they let me test ride it. And that kind of sold me on this one, the AK550, and that's because when I put my feet back on the passenger pegs, so the normal scooter position is not the best for my back because it kind of encourages you to kind of hunch over. But on this one, when I put my feet on the back pegs, I can hook in my heels. These are real skinny pegs, but if you have heels on your shoes, they hook in pretty good. And that curves my lower back in a good position and gets my thighs involved in my seating, so it kind of absorbs some of the weight as opposed to having all my weight on my sit bones. I get about max 2.5 hours of straight riding in this position. My KTM 390 Adventure with the flat seat that they sell as an option, I get about 2 hours out of that. And the flat seat's nice because I can move back and forth. So it works for me ergonomically. I have a 32-inch inseam. These pants I'm wearing are 33-inch with the knee pads in there. And then you have the boot as well on top of that. Okay, here's my knees. I'm 32-inch inseam. You can see this is the accelerator, so this is the one when you're doing slow speed maneuvers. It's kind of hard to get control of this, especially if you're doing two fingers, but I don't do two fingers when I'm doing slow speed maneuvers. Anyway, it's real close. So eventually you can hit. Okay, that's at the upper part. Down here. Okay. And then I'll put my feet all the way back. If I put my feet all the way back, yeah, my knees don't hit at all. Okay.